Happy Halloween to my kings and queens. Okay, period. And happy Friday. Happy Freaky Friday. Don't get too freaky tonight. Okay? But other than that, welcome to the VibeznTingz podcast, where my voice is your choice and the visual is this beautiful face in this beautiful space. Okay? Welcome to my dungeon. As y'all know, if you've been here before, we are in the closet. I like to call it the babe cave. But today, let's call it the dungeon. Because it's motherfucking Halloween. Okay? It is episode 5. Stay tuned. Boo! Hey, boo. Did I get you? Don't jump out your seat now. Had to do a little spooky hello, okay? Let's be real. Let me be real with you guys, okay? I'm not big into the Halloween. I'm trying my best to be festive. Next year, maybe I'll do better. Maybe I'll get into it. But, for the public eye right now, you're getting to know the real me. And I've never been big on Halloween. I don't even know why. I don't know. Put on a bucket hat. I don't know. I said I need a little, I don't know. It's not a witch hat, but it's a bucket hat. I have been called a witch because, in a good way. Hold on, because I looked up a little definition here. Witch isn't, I'm a godly woman at the end of the day. I pray every day, every night. Okay? But I do like my crystals. I do like my manifestations. I do charge my crystals in the moonlight. Okay, you may see this as witchy, but you know what is also witchy? Is being charming, alluring, mysterious, a hint of danger, if you will. It's a unique, powerful, magic allure. I'll take it, okay? And I'm drinking blood. Just kidding, it's my favorite juice. It's actually just some fruit punch Minute Maid. Too good. Let me know your favorite juice in the comments. This one is top tier. No one's topping that one. But good luck. I'll give you the chance to battle me. Juice battle. Okay? Speaking of drinking blood, I am definitely a big vampire fan. I should have had some fangs, but I feel like I low-key have the fangs. A little bit. Do you see it? Okay, we're going to go with that. So, before I get into the topic of the day, I do want to say, everybody out there, have fucking fun. But be safe, okay? Please be safe. If you're out in these streets, it is Freaky Friday. I can't remember the last time Halloween was on a Friday, so I know you guys are going to have a blast. Probably going to go into tomorrow, and you get the whole weekend, right? But have fun, be safe, and I know there's probably some parties. Go have fun in them parties. I will say, I'll give you guys a little fun here. I was Pocahontas one year. Literally went to Joann's fabric store. Got like tan fabric. Like literally mimicking the kind of fabric Pocahontas would use as her little... I don't know what they called it back then. The Native Americans. Oh, I guess it was probably like animal skin, right? Either way. Picked up some fabric, tied it to me. I was Pocahontas. Tell me why that night I won a twerk contest. I won a $100 gift card to my town bar that I went to every week, by the way. Good times. Angry Hams, if you know, you know. If you know me and you're watching this, you know about Angry Hams. Oh my God, let me know. Like the video if you know freaking Angry Hams. That place doesn't even exist anymore. Oh my gosh. Oh my God, bro. Now that's scary. Now that's scary stuff. That is spooky stuff. If anything is haunting me, it's Angry Hams. Because wow, what a time. What a time to be alive. No, seriously. It was actually insane. If you know, you know. I can't get too much into it. If you know, you know. That's crazy, though. So, for the topic today, and of course, in the spirit of Halloween, Halloween, if you will. Um, Halloween, I want to talk about breaking curses. Talk about witchy stuff. But it's not your average curse. You want to know? The kinds of curses I'm talking about is generational curses. Don't get scared. I know it's scary stuff. It's scary stuff. Trauma. No. Scaring the shit out of y'all, huh? I'm scared. It's scary. I'm talking about generational curses. No, but on a serious note, I do want to talk about that because they do call it curses, but really, it's just a really bad pattern, you guys. You know, this generation right here is unlike any others. I mean, if you really think about it, even our parents' generation is different from the previous generation and so on and so forth for sure. But the fact that we added on this type of technology onto this generation, that's what's giving us so many advantages, knowledge, and the ability to use these resources to really make a change and really make a difference in this world going forward, make a difference for our children in the next generation, and so on and so forth. And with that being said, you know, because generational curses exist is because they didn't have the resources. They didn't have the technology to even just look something up and get knowledge from it, or even all this internet or even social media where people are sharing their traumatic stories, sharing their trauma, sharing their experiences, sharing their knowledge, where you can just look it up, listen to somebody, share an experience, and then try to learn from it. So, you know, I want to talk about too, like just with all that being said, something I realized in our parents' generation. So basically, I'm going to say, and I don't know everybody, so I can only kind of go off my own experiences, right? So my parents are in their 50s. So I'm pretty much talking to anyone. When I say this generation, I would say, because even I have an older brother that's 6 years older than me. So he's not 40 yet. So he's going to be 37 this year. So I guess I'm talking to everyone 40 and younger. That is this generation, meaning millennials and Gen Z, I think. Because I feel like I'm somewhere in between of millennial and Gen Z. I was born in 1994. That just made me laugh because I was with my younger cousins all weekend and they're like 19, 20 to, I think the oldest one maybe was like 27. And I'm over here 31 and they were rashing my life, you guys. I got bullied all weekend for being my age. They said, "Do your joints hurt? Like, what's it like?" They said I was born in the 1900s. They said, oh my God. They had me dying though. Like, I was literally crying of laughter all weekend because they're genuinely so hilarious. So I couldn't even be mad. Like, it was just so funny. Like, what? You were alive when Michael Jackson was alive? I'm like, yeah. They're like, oh my God, you were there when 9/11 happened? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, that's literally a part of my life. And it's just not a part of theirs. And these are like the 19-year-olds talking. I'm like, oh my God, what a freaking world. That is crazy because that's all I know. And then everything going on. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. This is so crazy. Life is just funny that way. And the younger kids, like, they're just so funny and how they just grew up with everything. Like, oh, I told them, I was like, when I was little, like, I was like, I saw internet come about. I was like, you know what dial-up is? I said, we couldn't even use the internet while using the house phone. We had the phone that plugged into the wall. Bro, their minds were blown. It was hilarious because I've never, like, had an actual full conversation like that. Like, it was so funny. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Okay. But I digress. Back to breaking curses. Mm, mm. If blood did taste like this, I would run from me. Run and run fast because I'm drinking it. Anywho, I feel like, okay, I already said that. Internet, yeah. Access to info. So, really, guys, it comes down to this. It comes down to this. I'm 31. I don't have any kids yet. And I'll be honest, this is the reason why I refuse to carry on a generational curse. Because if it's really a curse, then it's inevitable. That's why I want to change the word to pattern. Patterns can be broken. I mean, curses can be broken, but I don't know that shit. I don't got a book of magical spells. You know what I mean? Like, I don't, despite what other or whoever, whatever Haitians be doing. Y'all know, okay, I am half Haitian and I am half Trinidadian. People be saying, oh, voodoo this, voodoo that. I don't know nothing about that. Okay? I don't know how to put a curse on you, and I damn sure don't know how to take one off. So don't ask me about none of that. I actually don't know anything about curses, okay? You know what I'm saying? I don't do none of that. If I'm doing anything spiritual, it's spiritual with him up there. And it's always positive. I'm always speaking in positivity, optimism, manifestation, okay? I don't do that, because that's black magic. I don't do that. Curses, I don't do that. Not even on Halloween, honey. No, we breaking that shit. But like I said, we're really breaking a pattern. Oh, also check out my nails. This is like the most Halloween I got this year. Look, see, crystal ball. Let's tell some fortunes. But anyway, like I was saying, I went to break this pattern so badly that if you were here in episode, I think it was episode 2, I did tell you guys that, I did have an abortion before. It was one time. I was 19 and I just couldn't see myself going through with it because it was just, well, because of who the father would be. I couldn't have that life. I just couldn't have that life. I couldn't continue on a pattern. And, you know, I, I say all that, but I also, here's what I'm really going to get to at this point. Because breaking a generational pattern, curse, in a way, it's like we talking shit about the other generations. And that's also what I'm not here to do. Okay? Because like I said, they didn't have the access to this information. It was really just normalized for them. The types of trauma, I mean, just to go over it real quick, like, being raped or molested. I don't even know if I could say these words on YouTube, but being sexually assaulted at young ages was normalized. They were having babies so young, right? Even before our parents' generation. You guys know when back in the day, you married and pregnant by 13. So it's like rules were put in place because they started to realize, hey, this isn't right. It's just not right. This shouldn't be happening. That's why rules exist. That's why laws exist. That's why different counties even have stronger laws than others. And it is a belief system. So obviously not everybody agrees on every single part of everything. That's one thing, like age of consent, right? That's one thing. Another thing. I'm pretty sure my parents were like, they got their shit beat out of them by their parents. Y'all know, especially if you black, you get your shit beat. Me, I know my brother got his ass beat a couple good times because she was acting up. Some kids need a good beating. Now, I'm not going to say he did. I wasn't, you know what I mean? I wasn't in control of that. But he wasn't doing what he was supposed to be doing, according to my parents. According to a lot of people's kids' parents, you doing wrong. I do believe there's a certain extent, like, and there is a line there where it gets to like torture. because I know, and these are kids that I grew up around, some of my family members, I ain't gonna put their business out there, but they got, okay, I don't know, if you're black, probably you heard of this, or any type of minority at this point, because I've heard this. So, it could be something as, you got to stand in the corner. I've had to do that before. You stand in the corner, fine, whatever. But you got to stand till they tell you you're done, right? You can't talk, you stand in the corner, right? You kneel on rice. I never had to do this. One of my cousins had to do this. Or I don't know how many of them, but I know one for sure did. Kneel on rice. You're holding books like this. You're a kid. This is torture. Your little arms. You're like 10 or whatever. Like, probably like 10 years old. Like, what? You're kneeling on rice. What's another one? Like, oh my God. Like, back in the day, I heard, especially my mom and her mom are from Trinidad. They would get smacked on their knuckles with a ruler. Oh my goodness. Now that's abuse. That is abuse. A little spank on the butt, fine. A little spank on the hand, like, don't touch that, fine. They probably not going to touch it again, especially if it's going to hurt them. You trying to protect them. That's different. I don't think any child should get smacked or hit on their head, because that could be brain damage if you do it too hard. Come on. Smack somebody in their face is traumatizing even as an adult. That's your face. Come on now. This is the money maker. Come on. Babies are cute. You shouldn't be smacking them in their face. Smack them on the butt. A little pat. You know? And some of these badass kids, sometimes they need to get beat. But to bring out a belt, to bring out the wooden spoon, to bring out the shoe, to each his own. To each his own. But it gets to a point, dude. It gets to a point. If they screaming and crying, you still going, it's abuse at that point. You smack them one time, go to your room. Okay, we hope they ain't gonna do it again. I'll give you that one. I'll give you one good one. 1, 2, pow, pow. You know, bring the belt out. Usually once they see the belt or they see the switch, or my aunt, God rest her soul. Oh, I love her so much. But she never even had to hit my cousin. She would just go to the kitchen drawer, grab the spoon, and he would run to his room. She didn't even have to do nothing. She just needed that. She would even just be like, to the drawer, like I'm going to get that spoon. I'm going to spank you. But I don't even think she ever actually hit him. It would just scare him into doing, you know what I mean? Into acting right. Like, that type of shit is funny. I would laugh every time. But, or sometimes, honestly, it wasn't even no need for that anyways. But that's the point. That's my point. It's like, they didn't talk to their children. They didn't teach our grandparents. And again, I don't speak for everyone, just the ones that can relate. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you can still listen and understand what we went through, okay? Again, I was never hit. There was one time though. There was this one time, and I was scared. I'm soft. I'm sensitive. Like I don't want to get hit. I don't want to get in trouble. I don't even want to get yelled at. I used to get yelled at, and my lip would curl. And as soon as that lip curl, my dad would be like, "Sorry." He'd be screaming at me. I don't like even to be yelled at, so I'm not gonna do anything to be hit, right? So there was this one time. I don't even know what happened. I was so little. I must have been like 5 or 6, 7. I can't believe I just did that. Fuck. See, I know some of the trends. My cousin was teasing me for not knowing the trends. I know this one. 6, 7, all weekend. Anywho, I don't know what she did or said or something, or maybe I was just being funny. But my mom turned her back, and I went, like, basically I was saying fuck you, but I was like, with my tongue out, and she caught me. And she said, "Oh." She was like, "Oh." And then she went to the back of the door where all the belts were hanging, and she grabbed it, and she's like, "You gonna stick your tongue at me? You gonna stick your tongue at me?" I was like, I was like, no, I'm sorry. She didn't hit me. And that was the last. That's all I needed. I said, oh, hell no. I am not about to get my ass beat. I can't take it. I don't want it. I can't take it. I don't want it. So I ain't going to set myself up for failure. But our parents got their ass beat, especially. I forgot to mention. So like I said, my mom and her mom are from Trinidad. Like literally, I am first generation American. So my mom is from Trinidad. She was brought here by her mom. My dad is from Haiti, born and half raised, was brought here by his dad. So they met up, had kids very young, very, very young. They were being fast. Back then, too, it's like, I don't know, again, just no resources. Like, ain't nobody worried about birth control like we are now. No one's really caring what's going on. They're continuing just ways that this is how they grew up. This is what they know. You know, my dad probably got beat, so he would, like, hit on my brother a little bit in a normal sense, right? And then, cut to, now me and my brother are grown. I'm 31. He about to be 37. Now it's to a point we have all the knowledge and resources, and only if you want to, because some people could be ignorant and they don't really care, and they're just going to continue patterns. They're going to keep having kids young and not know what they're doing and just winging it and just whatever and doing the same thing with themselves that they learned from their parents. Again, only if you subscribe to that. A lot of you may have been raised in a different way. I can only speak from my experience. And I'm only speaking to the people. I mean, I'm speaking to everybody, but I'm only speaking for the people who understand those generational curses. Shit. Actually, this is very interesting. If you come from a different type of culture, what's your generational trauma? What's your generational curse that is different for what I'm speaking of? Because I would love to learn. Please let me know in the comments. Seriously. I would love to learn any other type. If there's something different than what I'm mentioning, let me know what something like a generational curse or trauma or pattern that you have from your family line or culture. I'm more speaking of, what I can speak for is like more Caribbean culture and like Black culture and families. So back to what I was saying. What was I saying? Yeah, so I feel like as adults now, and maybe you're in your 20s as well, 30s, or even 40s. We're to a point now, we have all the resources and we're getting all the knowledge. Again, if you want to, I do a lot of research into why I am the way that I am. And I go to therapy and I'm finding out these ways, like even the type of men or people that I date. Like, I'm dating the type of men my mom goes for. Why am I okay, or my family even goes for? Why am I okay with these types of attributes? Why have I always fallen for a narcissist? Oh, I don't know. Maybe because my dad's a narcissist. Love him to death. And let me say something before I continue. Wanting to break a generational curse or pattern. I don't know if I said. I think I tried to say this earlier, but I messed my own sentence up. I interrupted myself. I love my parents. I love my family to death. We wouldn't be here without them, right? At the end of the day, regardless of bad habits or bad attributes that I find negative, that I would like to change for myself, for my future children, and not bring into the next generation, those traumas, patterns, whatever. What I don't want to bring into the next generation that I have a part of conceiving, it is no shade. It is no shade to my parents' generation. It is no shade to any other generation at all. It just means we want to do better. And here's the thing. Every generation does do better. And that's the whole point. I want my kids to do even better for their kids, because nobody's perfect either. As much as I try to do better and better and better, nothing's ever going to be perfect. I'm going to try my best, and they're going to feel the love that I have for them. That being said, my parents love me so much. You know, I am still the person that I am. Look, I can get on here and do what I love to do, and I'm able to now be in a big happy home, but it's just not how it started. So, me and my parents and my brother, we started in a one bedroom apartment in Brooklyn, New York. Sharing that one bedroom because at one point my parents had to rent out the living room. So we're literally living and sleeping in one bedroom, and then we have the kitchen. It's a small Brooklyn apartment, okay? If you know New York, if you know you New York, you know what I mean by that. You walk in the door, tiny hallway, kitchen on the left, right next to that the one bedroom, and then to the right living room, which is kind of its own room. I guess actually, cause that had a door too. Oh, so it's actually two bedrooms with no living room then. I just called it the living room because we kind of dressed it up as that when it was my dad's friend, but when we didn't have a roommate, let's call it, we treated it like a living room. So, yeah, they created the best life they could for us. And even in that tiny Brooklyn apartment, sharing one bedroom with me, my mom, my dad, and my brother, four of us, one bedroom. I had Christmas presents every year. I had Christmas presents. I didn't feel poor. I didn't feel broke. You know, in hindsight, now I could think back and be like, damn, that sucked. Damn, I didn't have my own room till I was 12 years old. Damn, like, I slept with my parents till I was like 10 years, like, kind of 10 years old. Like, damn, like, you know, I had to share a bedroom all this time. And, you know, I don't know, it was just different, you know, but when I reached 7 years old, I what happened? Oh, they moved us to Massachusetts. And we've been here ever since. They made the best life they could for us. They moved us to the suburbs, got us out of that crazy city. Because imagine Brooklyn in the 90s. Oh my God. My dad used to, so my parents, like, you know, they grew up together, whatever. They had all these friends together and, like, their cousins. We've always been family people. So their friends were always, like, cousins and, like, my dad's cousins, my mom's cousins. And they would all just party together along with some schoolmates. So my dad was a DJ, and he used to always throw these parties, and they would get shot up. Like my mom's arm got grazed with a bullet. They was being bad. They was being bad. My dad, you know, he got arrested a couple times. You know, he used to sell a little something to get by. You know, and then like he worked at McDonald's. It's lit. Working at McDonald's was lit back then. You know, he was the man till he quit because he can't handle authority. He can't handle the authority. But they moved us to the suburbs and we had a great life. But even still, when we moved to Waltham first, Massachusetts, we still had a one bedroom. So, you know, we did our best. Then finally, I think a year after that or sometime after that, we got our first like rental one family. So there was two bedrooms, like, I mean, that was the biggest house we had at that point. Then we upgraded years later. We went to Framingham, Massachusetts. That's where I went to high school and everything. Again, if you know, you know. And we had a decent house there. My friends thought I was rich there. Like, I'm like, really? I'm like, you know, whatever. Like, I don't know. I was always very humble, you know? And then, but the way they described it and then I saw where they lived, I'm like, oh, okay. So you guys are growing up like how I grew up, you know? But my parents is making sure. And then, you know, some of my friends, like, they only had one parent. So it's kind of tough. But I did have this one white friend. Her house was big. That was the biggest house I've ever seen at that point. Like, knowing someone who had a big house. And then now, skip to 30 years later, we in a huge house. At least for me. Still not a mansion. But to me, it's a mansion. Like, if you know me and you've been to my house, Let me know in the comments. Leave me a little heart. Leave me a little love in the comments, because you definitely family if you've been here, you know? And just the way that they paved. If they didn't go through everything that they went through, even with all the trauma, even the trauma that I experienced, that some of it they don't even know, because I had to grow up on my own, you know? I went to public school. I encountered some things, you know? My parents worked a lot, so I was often left alone. Not in a bad parenting way, like my brother was there and stuff, or like I would go to my friend's house, but you know, some shit happened along the way. And you can't regret anything by that. You know, my parents went through a lot. Again, they met very young. I used to see them fight a lot, and it really also took a toll on me and made me think that that's what love is. And then that kind of led to me accepting partners that would always not treat me the best. And, you know, that's a conversation for another day. Right now, I want to focus on how happy our family is now. And these are the things I have to be grateful for. And so now, in this much better environment that they built, they came all this way, and I got to see the whole thing. It's so crazy. But I don't want my child to have to go through that. So if I can excuse me. So if I can control it, which I have, I've gone to 31 with no kids and have been through so much. I wouldn't want to, if I have to choose, and I did choose. I chose to not have a child while going through all these things I was still learning. And now I'm in a much better place. You know, I was with an abusive partner, and I was with someone who I realized, you know, at first I really wanted to have kids with them. Like it was really on that level. But when, you know, love is blind sometimes, and again, things that I thought I learned that I had to unlearn, right? Because, you know, 50-50, I'm going to have a daughter. And I'll be damned if my daughter goes through anything I went through. So guess what? I got to show a different example. You know, my mom met my dad and got pregnant at 15. It's not her fault that she had to go through all this with children, and we had to see it all, meaning all the bad times. And then when you know, when you don't have a lot of money and it's just hard times all over, that's going to cause turmoil in the house regardless, with in your marriage, right? For them in your marriage. So it's like a lot of different angles and different points. What's the time? Yeah, it's a lot of different angles and different points there. But at the end of it all, they got to their American dream. Imagine, they were not born here. They were taken to America to have a better life, and they made it happen. They made it happen. Now, I have it. Now I'm here. I have it. So what's stopping me from giving an even better, dreamful life, if you will, to my children? So now, you know, I got out of an abusive relationship. I'm now on my own, and I'm healing. I don't want to have children unhealed. I don't want to raise an unhealed generation. I just don't want to do it. I don't feel like it. I'm hot. Whew. I'm hot, you guys. I just don't. Oh my goodness. Getting worked up. I just don't want to do it. You know, that's my choice. Everybody makes their own choices, and some people can make it work better than others. You know, I will say that. And I'm just doing the best I can, and that's all we can all do. So, my boos. What up, boo? Are we breaking generational curses? Start stirring stuff in the cauldron. Stir it up. Look at it, flick at it, wrist. Get that spell together. Manifest it up here. And let's break some generational curses. You know? That's what I want to do. That's what I want to talk about this Halloween. Where's my cards? Excuse me, guys. that is pretty much all I had for today, to be honest. My little drink is done. I got hot, threw the hat off. Yeah, I was also, if you're in the Mass area, what are you guys doing? Not that I'm doing anything. I'm in the house. Like I said, I'm actually filming this today. I'm going to go edit it and post it for you guys. I honestly, I was out last weekend in Destin, Florida. It was so nice, so beautiful. If anyone's from the Florida area, I know Florida's huge, but I was in Destin specifically, and oh my gosh, it's just been I was gone all weekend. It was a crazy week, so I'm recording today. And I did want to do Halloween stuff, but now I just want to stay home. And this hair is coming out, you guys. This is faux locks. These are coming out. I low-key took one out right here. You can't see. I tucked it back. But, never doing this again. If you could see, also, never doing this again. It's a nightmare. All of my queens out there. Have you ever done faux locks this small? It's a fucking nightmare. It took me 20 minutes to take one out. I was like, oh my god. And then I called my hair girl. I said, I need help. I need you to help me. Well, she literally showed me how to do it on FaceTime, and I was like, girl, no. I'm literally coming over tomorrow. I need help. But I'm gonna try to do some of that tonight. But before we go, oh my god, lately my episodes have been an hour, 37 minutes. That's not bad. Okay. So we're going to do the happiness chemicals today, as we always do. So out of serotonin, oxytocin, dopamine, and endorphins, do we want mood stabilizer, love hormone, reward chemical, or painkillers? What do we want today? I don't know, painkillers, just because it has killers in it and I'm trying to be festive. That's the endorphins. Painkillers, let me see. Let's see what we got. Ooh. Movie magic. I hope it says watch a movie, because I'm definitely at the least I'm watching a scary movie tonight. Okay, what we know. Endorphins can be activated by watching a dramatic movie or TV show. Facts. Our brain chemistry responds to the on-screen emotions by releasing endorphins the same way it would if we were in physical pain ourselves. That is a big ass fact, because I be sobbing through movies. What to do? It sounds counterintuitive, but try putting on your favorite tearjerker if you're in need of a pick-me-up. Are you sure? The endorphin rush afterwards could leave you feeling revived. Is that true, or am I going to get depressed? I'm going to listen to the card. But it's Halloween, so we going to watch something scary, but not gonna lie, I do love a good tearjerker, so it's going to leave me feeling revived after. Okay, I guess. You guys, if y'all do it, let me know how it goes. Let me know how it goes, you guys. But oh my god. Happy Halloween. Everybody be safe on this freaky ass Friday. Let me know what you dressed up as. Or if you're staying in, I hope you liked the episode. This is for you. I'm going to premiere it tonight. Hopefully in the next hour or so. I don't even know what time it is. Hopefully this is out by at least 8 o'clock. Hopefully 6 o'clock. I don't know what time it is, but 7, 8, 6, 7. Y'all got me with that one. Okay, I love you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in. Again, happy Halloween. You guys have a great weekend. Just think about everything we talked about today. Talk to me in the comments. Let me know. And I'll see you guys next week. Love you guys. Bye.